team like Kyrie and KD. Or the Lake Show with King James and AD. Wish I could match him up with the bad boys from the 80s. But no black and white, I need that in HD. HenDawgz.
Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy HenDawg, and we back to it. You know how we do it. Bird gang, where y'all at, man? If y'all part of the Bird gang, write something in the comments right now. Don't even gotta finish the video. Just type Bird gang in the comments and then get back to the video. But I think this is gonna be a really good one. I just did a reaction video that said the best Larry Bird story ever told, and it got 100,000 views. So here we got the best Larry Bird three-point shooting story ever told, man. But before we get into it, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. We are on the way to 10K. If you love when I react to videos like this, you are in the right place, because I'm about to keep reacting to videos like this. So go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and like this video. If you like this video, go ahead and write something in the comments. Let me know, where does Larry Bird rank on all-time shooters? Because we're not even going to look at the stats. The stats do not count. They always say numbers don't lie, but in this situation, numbers do lie, because Larry Bird just really wasn't shooting that many threes back in the day. I think he shot like 2 threes a game for his career. So to try to look at that and then look at players in today's game who can't shoot nowhere near as good as Larry Bird, taking 6, 7 threes a game, like, you just really can't look at those numbers, man. So where would you rank Larry Bird at all time? I didn't mean to say Steph Curry, but I got Larry Bird number 2. Just because Steph is number 1. So let's get into this video. We got the best Larry Bird three-point shooting story ever told. Let's get it.
Bird is one of the great shooters in the history of the sport. Not even close. Not good. He was great. He's one of the top 5 three-point shooters of all time. That's how good Bird is.
What JJ got to say?
We're not three-point shooting contests. He was phenomenal. Bird's a great shooter.
This is the face of a Larry Bird denier, because one seemingly innocuous comment about how great of a three-point shooter Larry Bird was had him all in his feelings.
Dog, it's just math. It's attempts, it's
not
makes,
math.
And it's percentage.
It's not.
And there's no way you could ever argue Larry Bird is a top 3 three-point shooter of all time. There's plenty of people that have shot more, made more, and guess what? Made more at a higher percentage than Larry Bird from 3.
That don't make them a better shooter, because you've taken way more threes. The game just wasn't about shooting threes back in the day. So you can't look at those measurements. And JJ Redick, you know, he was a great shooter. I give him his credit. But I think this is another one of them instances where he wants to, in order to boost himself up, you got to kind of dismiss somebody else. And I feel like that just is a little insecurity right there. Like, give Larry Bird his credit. Like, you were a great shooter, JJ Redick. You don't have to, you know, talk shit about Larry Bird just to make it seem like you were a better shooter. Like, you don't have to do that. But I hope that this story isn't about the All-Star games, back-to-back three-point champions that Larry Bird got, because I've seen that already. I'm hoping this is something new. So let's hope.
Not one of the greatest three-point shooters ever.
Now, as someone who claims to be a student of the game, why in the world would JJ Redick say something so idiotic?
Ratings.
In the words
of
the
ratings.
great Roy Jones Jr., y'all must have forgot. JJ Redick, this video is dedicated to you.
That face is funny.
I lived that 80s era, and Larry Bird was one of the greatest three-point shooters that's ever played this game. Fuck percentages.
Facts.
It ain't about that. It's about hitting big shots, things that he couldn't do as a player.
Larry Bird hit more big three-point shots than anyone, even to this day, and he did it in supreme fashion, while trash-talking every step of the way.
We're playing Phoenix, and we're way ahead, okay? When we're down in the old Saddle Dome that they had outside.
Right.
And Larry, you know, we're playing good as a team. Larry has the worst fourth quarter known to man. I mean, he's throwing the ball to the other team. I'm like, good Lord, we had like a 15-point lead. Next thing you know, we're down 2. And I'm like, oh, how in the world are we going to lose this game?
No.
So we have a play, out of bounds play. Larry says, I'm going to bust off the play, and I'm just going to come out, and I'm going to shoot a 3. And I'm like, no, don't do that. I'm like, let's shoot a 2, please. Go to the hole and try to get fouled. Let's just get into overtime, see if we can't win this game.
So, you know, Larry not only tells me that, he walked by the bench and says, you know, typical Birdie, just real slow, fixing to bust a 3 on your guys and go home. And so he breaks the play.
Max looking, loops it to Bird, a runner.
Oh my God.
And the Celtics win it. Bird hits and the Celtics.
He pointing at him.
103 to 101. A three-pointer by Larry Bird at the buzzer.
And he gets the ball, jumps out, busts the play, comes out, gets the ball at the slot, shoots the ball. As the ball's in the air, he kind of turns towards the Phoenix bench and yells, "Told you so!" He's out running to the locker room. And I just started laughing. I was like, oh, man.
That was Birdie. He had to
I think the best thing about this story is he was having a terrible game. And he still had the confidence to talk shit to the Phoenix Suns bench, shoot a one-legged three, and it still hit nothing but net. Like, that's so crazy. Like, it would have been different if he had made 5 threes in a row. He had 50 points. Like, you probably would have expected him to do that and, have the confidence to say something to the other team. But the fact that he was throwing the ball to the other team, he had a terrible fourth quarter. And through all of that, he still had the confidence to talk to the other team, like, hey, I'm about to hit this game winner and do it. Like, that's legendary shit right there, man. That's legendary shit.
He had so much confidence. He talked to the coaches. He talked to everybody. He was talking trash all the time, man. But fun. Great competitor, man.
And what Kevin McHale failed to mention is that Larry Bird had not taken a single three-pointer that entire game.
The whole game?
Hey, JJ, I hope you're listening. Larry Bird was the first player to make the three-point shot a strategic weapon. You weren't out there taking 14 or 15. He liked to use it as a dagger in the fourth quarter. Nobody else used it as strategically as Larry Bird did.
Even Michael Jordan understood that shooting too many threes was not the best way to win.
Here's Jordan for three. Yes!
When you have that mentality, as I found out in the first game, of making threes, you don't go to the hole as much. You go to the three-point line and you start sitting there waiting for someone to find you. And that's not my mentality. And I don't want to create that because it takes away from all phases of my game. My game is a fake drive to the hole, penetrate, dish off, dunk or whatever.
But for some reason,
Mike keeps showing his picture.
actually thinks basketball is just a math equation. And he couldn't be more wrong. Just because 3 is more than 2 doesn't mean you should jack up a bunch of threes. Larry Bird not only was a great three-point shooter, but he had one of the highest basketball IQs in NBA history. And even he never averaged over 4 three-point attempts per game in any season.
That's
But he
crazy.
shot them and made them when they truly mattered. Like in this game, when the Celtics were down by 3 with 7 seconds to go, and then this happened.
Crowd is standing up. It goes now to Bird. Bird
He
goes
loved the
up
1
top.
foot for the win. That is such a tough shot.
And it's all tied up again. My goodness.
And if you think
I realized that he did it, but I didn't realize that he was doing the one-legged shot on clutch fourth quarter 3 so much.
that one-legged three-point shot was luck, we'll explain this. Because in that same game, in overtime, with 2 seconds left, and the Celtics down by 1, this happened.
This is the crossover.
Gains the inbounds for the Celtics, trailing by 1.
no,
2
this ain't
seconds left. In the Bird, he fires.
Another 1-footer?
Yes! And the Celtics win! Unbelievable! Larry Bird at the buzzer!
This guy
There's something
here,
to be said
man.
for the guy who does it when you have to have it done, as opposed to those guys that can do it for the first 3 quarters. But do you see Steph Curry? Can you say he's the best shooter that we've ever seen?
No, I don't know about that. The thing is, anybody can shoot it when it's tied. It's when you're down 1 or down 2. I mean, how many guys make that shot?
But since JJ Redick loves his numbers so much, let's compare prime Larry Bird's three-point numbers with Steph Curry's 2016 unanimous MVP season. Steph Curry shot 45.4% from 3.
That's crazy.
While Larry Bird shot 42.3% from
Both of them
3.
are great.
Now, in a vacuum, using only this number, the unsophisticated analyst might assume that Steph Curry was a better three-point shooter than Larry Bird, but not so fast. How about we compare each player to the three-point shooters of their own era? In 2016, the league average three-point percentage was 35.4%. This means that Steph Curry was 28% better than league average. In 1985, the league average three-point percentage was 28.2%.
Wow.
This means that Larry Bird was 51% better than league average.
That's crazy.
So, in reality, Larry Bird dominated the three-point line in his era even better than 2016 unanimous MVP Steph Curry. But numbers don't make an argument. Their only purpose is to supplement what we already know to be true.
If the three-point shot was what it is today, back in the 80s, Bird would have scored 50 a game. He made every mid-ranger in the world. He was a 90% free throw shooter. Outside of one jumper when he missed the Game 4 jumper against Magic, he had a broken hand. I don't recall ever a big shot in a big game that he ever missed.
So, answer this question. If you need one player to hit one three-point shot to save your life, who are you taking?
Who you taking? Who you taking? Answer that question for me. And that's so tough. I don't even want to. Can they both just take it? Can they? I can't choose, man. I can't choose. I know the Bird gang gonna be mad at me, but how could I not pick Steph? I didn't watch enough of Larry Bird to be able to pick Larry Bird. The same reason why y'all pick Larry Bird is probably because y'all don't really watch Steph Curry. And I'm not even gonna answer it, man. I'm not gonna answer it.
Steph Curry, who lost the three-point shooting contest 5 times to his peers.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Or Larry Bird, who won the three-point shooting contest back to back to back.
There were pros back then. There were cons back then. But to say anything disparaging about Larry Bird and his perimeter shooting and his three-point shooting, asinine. Like, JJ, he'd probably beat your ass in a three-point shooting contest today.
Right now. I knew you about to say that.
Though it sounds like hyperbole, this is what a 60-year-old Larry Bird did at an Indiana Pacers practice.
Yeah, hyperbole. What is that?
The whole team is just
let me know what that means.
And Larry just walks on the court, grabbed the ball, and started jacking threes like, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Like, I'm looking at it, but I'm like, do y'all see this right now? And he made like at least 10 in a row threes, like just in a row, and walked off and sat like he ain't do nothing, like it was regular, and folded his legs.
Yeah, that's legendary right there.
I'm like, yo, this guy is nice. I'm like, man, that's the legend right there.
Speaking of shooting threes, Coach, you at the three-point competition, walking in the locker room, who's playing? Did you really say that? Who's playing for second?
Yeah, I did.
I did.
Because Leon Wood never crossed the three-point line. All he did was he always shot three. So I thought he might be the competition. When I walked in there, he's sitting there, and I said, okay, now they're down to the nitty-gritty. Who's coming in second? You already know who's going to win this. I think they were a little nervous.
And after Larry Bird hit 11 straight threes in this final round, he decided to hit one off the backboard.
He ain't shooting off the backboard. No!
That check said my name on it for a week now. I knew I was going to win this thing.
And then the walk up.
You hear the shit talking? He said that the check already had his name on it for a week. As soon as he said, "Yeah, I want to shoot in the three-point shootout this year," they start writing his name on the winning check. Like, stop it, Bird.
Put your hand up. I mean, come on, Coach. Come on.
You know, when you're shooting them, you don't know what the score is.
Right.
But I had a feeling by the way the crowd was going, I had to make the last one. And that one there looked perfect all the way. So if it would have bounced out, I would have felt like an idiot.
Well,
but it went in, I got lucky and got the check and went home.
Luck counts.
Larry Bird winning a long-distance shootout for the 3rd year in a row.
I think a lot of people always kind of misconstrue that luck, like, you don't deserve it if it's luck. But I feel like luck counts, man. But you also have to put yourself, this is the teaching point for the day. You have to put yourself in position to be able to take advantage of luck. Because luck can be thrown right in your hand. Like right now, you could get something super lucky that gets thrown right in your hand. But if you're not ready for it, it don't matter. You can have all the blessings you want, but if you're not prepared for the luck that you're about to get, you'll lose it. You'll fumble it right onto the ground, and then you're like, hey, oh well, but luck counts, man.
Oh.
Now imagine that. Larry Bird, who didn't even see a three-point line until after he entered the NBA.
Take it in the face, then now watch him shoot it. Unbelievable. You know how far away that is?
Somehow became the greatest, most
James
clutch
Worthy,
three-point shooter of all time. And he did it in the most physical era of basketball.
Bill and
I
Beard.
don't care what J.J. Redick says.
This guy.
When I watch Steph Curry off the ball in a playoff game,
Please, great.
getting grabbed and held by Marcus Smart, they're attached to him at all times.
Right.
Then when I watch Larry Bird come off the pin down and no one's within 5 feet of him and they're shooting the gap.
What?
You're telling me one is more physical than the other? You're telling me that's more physical than Steph Curry being grabbed and held for 48 minutes?
Again, he has to just say Marcus Smart grabs Steph Curry. Like, that's all you have to say. You don't have to dismiss, because that's when you're going to just look stupid. You ain't just see that clip right there, James Worthy grabbing on Larry Bird. Like, just trying to, dismiss somebody else is going to make your argument just not seem factual. Like, just say that Steph Curry, he gets pushed around a little bit more than people say he does. That's all you got to say. You don't have to dismiss what Larry Bird did, man. So that's why you got this face looking right now, because you sound crazy.
Yeah.
Well, JJ continues to embarrass his university and diminishes the worth of a Duke degree by speaking with such colossal ignorance in public, with such arrogance and authority. It's idiocy that suggests
idiocy.
that
I never heard that word.
hand-checking finesse league where people are camping out 42 and a half feet from the basket is more physical than the NBA of 30, oh my God, we'll talk about 50 or 60 years ago, but even 30 years ago. When does he come up with this? This defies common sense.
And Michael Cooper, who was Larry Bird's toughest defender in the 80s, took J.J. Redick's comments very personally.
You know what? Watch your mouth, man.
I told him watch his mouth.
Players and who can do this and who can do that. Because the game changed in the 80s because it was so physical. In today's NBA, I don't know what game he's looking at. You can't touch the guy. Anytime you touch a three-point shooter, come close to them when they're landing, it's a foul. To say that Steph is getting more contact, man, that guy has no clue of how basketball was played in the 80s. And I guarantee you this, J.J. Redick, if you had played in the 80s, this is Michael Cooper talking, I'd have locked your ass up.
Damn!
You wouldn't have got a shot off. You wouldn't have got nothing off. You would have spent more time on the bench than on the floor. When I was on the floor, you couldn't have played when I was on the court.
I mean,
that's deep.
For J.J. Redick to disrespect an entire generation of basketball players, what did he expect?
First of all, Redick don't know what the hell he's talking about. I'm going to say it, right?
I agree.
He don't know what the hell he's talking about. I'm like, what basketball was you watching? To say something as idiotic as that is ridiculous. And for J.J. Redick, who played this game, I'm very disappointed that he said something so stupid. When I hear that, I'm like, you really don't know, do you? We had our time. It was a great time. It's their time now.
Yes.
But don't crap on us
JJ.
to prove your point. Yeah. Because it doesn't make sense. It's not valid. I don't hate on these guys.
You're responding right now.
Yeah.
You're not.
I don't hate on these guys. These guys are great. I just don't like the disrespect. Yeah. Yeah. And to say that about Larry Bird, it's just a stupid comment to make.
Ratings.
Unfortunately, somewhere along the way, common basketball knowledge was lost. But hopefully, these Larry Bird stories enlighten you to why the world fell in love with basketball in the first place.
And this particular play down is a timeout, and they're coming down, and Larry gets me at the top of the key, and he's walking me underneath this basket. He goes, Cooper, I'm ready to wear your ass out. What? Okay, I get down to my best defensive stance. He goes down the lane, he comes off the left side, and Robert Parrish sets a pick. And we knew the play. We knew what was coming up. And Kareem was ready, and as Larry comes off the pick, shoulder to shoulder with Parrish, and I'm trailing behind him, he catches the basketball right about the elbow. And he gets the ball, and he goes up, and Kareem stops him from turning the corner. Larry catches the ball, he goes up in the air, and here I come. And I'm like, I'm getting ready to smash this shit, man. So I jump up, and I got my hand, and I don't know how Larry got this ball between Kareem and I. Because Kareem had his hands up. I'm coming with my right hand. And he hit a great pass. Like I said, I don't know how he got it to him. Hits Robert Parrish, And Larry looks over his shoulder at me and he laughs. He said, "I told you, motherfucker."
But it's also had a telling effect on Michael Cooper underneath the basket. They're wearing him out.
That's what made Larry larger than life, because if anybody in today's game, maybe Steph Curry comes off that, they force that shot up there. They try to get the shot off, but that's the difference between Larry. That play right there softens you up for the next time. Now Kareem's not going to jump out. Now Larry's wide open to shoot the ball. So I would expect former players to really understand that. But I never, ever discount another player at any decade. I hate Larry Bird, but I respect the hell out of that man. And Larry Bird was one of the greatest three-point shooters that's ever played this game. Fuck percentages. It ain't about that. It's about hitting big shots.
Shout out to Michael Cooper too, because Michael Cooper was a guy that don't have to say anything positive about Larry Bird. Like he just said it. I didn't even know he was about to say that, and I already had this thought in my head. He said he hated Larry Bird, but the respect that he gave him is super cool. And on the opposite end, Larry Bird said that Michael Cooper was the toughest, one of his toughest defenders. So I appreciate y'all for watching this video with me. I think that was a really good video. I really enjoyed that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and like this video. If you liked it, I'm sure you did. And go ahead and write something in the comments. Let me know where Larry Bird ranks on the all-time three-point shooting list. But I appreciate y'all like always. We out.